What's going on, everybody? It's Lang Dutchman here, and today we're working on the Civic. Now, as you can maybe see, that the front fitment is a lot better than the rear fitment, and we wanted to change that. Also, there's not a lot of suspension travel because we still have travel in the front, but the rears are basically done. There's no suspension travel, so when there's somebody sitting in the back, we go over speed bumps or whatever, they get compressed really hard. So we wanted to change that and also maybe lower it a little bit. So what we have for the solution are some extended top hats. Now what these do is basically, normally your shock absorber has been bolted around this level, and it just gives you like 2 inches, 5 centimeters roughly, extra clearance, extra suspension travel. And we can go lower, or we can have that extra suspension travel. So it's sort of what we want, and we want to look at, maybe give it a look that it's a little bit lower. It doesn't have to be slant, it's still a daily. But we want to lower it a little bit at the back and also have it a little bit more comfortable. So I think we're gonna pick the somewhat in between option. Now it comes with these bushings for the top. And as you can hear, they're solid plastic. They also come with a set in the rear. Now I don't know if these supposed to go in here and then these, but with all this it's gonna be even thicker than it was. So we have 2 options, or we're just gonna stick these in here, which are gonna be very tough, but hey, maybe. Or we take this one, which is, as you can see, spongy. This is actually a rubber, not just plastic. And maybe just cut this in half, so we still have some dampening at the end, so it's not just a solid bash to metal. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do. First up, jack the car up, take the wheels off, and then 1 bolt in the bottom and 2 bolts at the top. We need to take a little bit of the interior out, but that's no issue. We're gonna take the coilovers out, and then take the top hats off, and probably pick up the camera somewhere there. Also, I have Dempsey here to film for me.
Hello, hello.
Maybe, just maybe, I could just start doing stuff. You can actually see what I'm doing. Don't mind the BMW. That thing is under construction. That's my thing. That's what I was afraid of. My battery is not full. It's high. So, after taking out the speakers, Rockford. See, I got some quality parts in this car. There's just enough space, I don't know if you can see that, a little bit, to undo the bolts, nuts, whatever, those are there. So the top side is loose, so in theory, this should all be very stiff, nice. In theory, I can just undo that bottom one, and then I should be able to take it out, hopefully. If not, I should undo the camber arm, but I hate those things. One on the CRX is stripped, so or like, no, this one wasn't coming off, so I always have to take those off, but don't want to. We shall see. Just take that bottom nut off and take the coilovers out, same on the other side, and then show you guys what to do. So after getting the coilovers out, we can undo the top hats, and luckily there's no tension on these. And we can just, basically can leave that one on there. All we have to do now is take the other one and sort of compare it to this one and this distance. and see how much extra travel we want. Take one of each. Because if you see this one, it's a lot deeper in there. This one is basically, well, little cup and then it's flat. So I'm thinking, can't I just smack the old one out? This one, the rubber one, with that. Because this might be a little harsh to take the OEM ones out. And then only take the bottom ring. There's a little dampening. And I think we save a few centimeters. Let's do that. So after taking the springs out, these are still quite soft. And how you lower the car is basically you wind them down all the way with these cheap coilovers. If you have decent coilovers, you can screw down the bottom, the feet, and you don't have to touch the preload. But to tackle that and have some preload on these and still go low, we need a smaller spring. So instead of cutting these and wind this bit up, I had a box with old springs. Remember the Mira build we did? I took some springs out and, well, I had some. And I think that these are gonna be perfect. They're roughly the same size. They're a lot thicker, a lot stiffer, and they're shorter. So I can now wind this collar up, basically, and go all the way up to here. So we have decent ride height, but also it's lower and better suspension overall, I would say, because that one was too soft. So you go over a bump, it compresses, hit the bump stop, and everyone gets like a big hard bump. I think these won't hit the bump stops as easily because it's a very light car, and then when you load it up with people, it's no problem. It wouldn't sag down as much. So even if you want to run it low, I think it wouldn't still be a problem because it will hold up to the weight a lot better. This is an experiment, so we're just gonna slap these on and see what they do. Question is, also don't mind this, if something goes wrong and your bolt break, you can just, it's there for aggression. Let's see what the rear does. Is it sitting higher or lower? For now.
I think it's a bit higher.
Higher even?
Maybe? Perchance.
Oh wait. I feel like somewhat equal. I feel it's like somewhat equal, maybe this much lower, not noticeable. But because we swapped back to the original blue springs, because the diameter of the other spring was a little bit too big, and I thought it would be a possibility that if it compresses enough, it will pop past the adjustment collar. I didn't want to risk it, so I put the originals back in. Should have a little bit more length in travel in the shock, so we'll find out about that. So after a bit of driving around, it feels like it's better, at least for the bumps. It feels like it has a little bit more travel because there's also now preload in the rear. And I feel like it's a little bit lower. Let's say if I wanted to drop 2 centimeters, I've dropped only 1 centimeter. So I would love the tire to tuck a little bit more than that. pretty much equal to the front now. Might differ like 5 mil or something. But for now, that's the cheapest option I could do to basically make this suspension a little bit better and give it more travel, because it had none at the rear. There's actually suspension in the rear now. Because before it was like compressed that much that it was just like boom, bump stop almost instantly. So hopefully this drives a little bit better. Not only for me, but especially for my passengers. So Dempsey, basically I did all this work for you.
It's usually Cos that sits in the rear.
True. The third person at least. Yep. So, cheap top hat extenders from AliExpress. I thought they were 20 bucks maybe in total, very cheap, and gives you some suspension travel back in your stance cars. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace!